5 years ago, I gave up my job to become a full-time writer and YouTuber, and here I am, still doing the same thing, but different. So I started off as a crafting channel where I used sculpture, and I was really talking about sculpture and stuff because I was using the videos to communicate with an online crafting community, which I was the admin for Dungeon Master Scotty's crafting group. Through like a message board. So then that turned into making terrain and things like that, and videos of my artwork and stuff on their own. And then that turned into talking about the lore of the monsters that I was sculpting, which turned into just making lore videos. And for a number of years, I've just been making videos about Dungeons and Dragons lore, mainly the Forgotten Realms and things like that, which suited everybody that was playing whatever game edition was going at the time. We went straight through into the 5th edition of D&D and everything was fine. And then at the end of last year and the start of this year, the parent company of Dungeons and Dragons went south on us. And, well, in particular, I very much lost all faith with the company and just couldn't bring myself to make content for them anymore for free. So I've shifted my focus to my own creative pursuits. And while I was sort of flailing about looking for what people were interested in, making some alien ecology videos, which I really enjoyed making, and branching out into other games, like making videos exploring the Palladium role-playing system and Rifts as a world setting. Really enjoyed making those as well, and just giving back to the Rifts community, which is the game that I sort of started my self-publishing career on originally. Well, the first ever paid gig that I got was from Palladium Books, and the Rifter number 23 has my article on the Blade Mage. So I was, even way back then, I was heading towards being a writer for the gaming industry. And I've also done paid blogs and things like that. Unfortunately, those blogs no longer exist because they sold the website to some other company and wiped everything that I'd made. So yeah, making my own content has been a really good cathartic sort of stress relief as the year has gone on. Although my viewership has taken a nosedive because I haven't been making a lot of Dungeons and Dragons specific lore videos, I'm still doing fantasy lore in the videos, and I think people should realize that making the Derailed Fantasy Adventures has been really good, and orienting my lore videos around the homebrewed monsters and talking about adventure design and monster design and world building and stuff like that is really a big expansion from what my previous content was, and it's taking off the restrictive muzzle of being stuck in one game system and one world, talking about one set of adventure lore, which is kind of intimidating for people in the first place. Like the other day I approached RuneQuest for the first time, and I looked at the existing body of lore for RuneQuest, and I had that noob first timer vibe of, holy shit, there's like there's 150 pages of lore to get through here. It's like, oh man, that's really intimidating. And then I saw that there was, there's a rules light, there's a systems light, lore light adventure starter box set that I can pick up for this game. And then I realized, that's what the new, people who have just started playing with 5th edition feel when they're approaching the Forgotten Realms and stuff like that. It is really intimidating, all of that lore and things like that. No wonder it's so sort of off-putting. No wonder they sort of watch all these lore videos and things that I've been producing to get some sort of idea of what the hell all this stuff is in some sort of medium that's easier to pick up. But really, it's hard to condense things down into like, a YouTube short and like a 6-minute video on a particular thing without missing out a vast amount of information which is built up over the years. Not so much with making the Derailed Fantasy Adventures, where I can just tell a story. And the story in itself is a fairy tale, a bedside story for adults who are into fantasy stuff. They don't even need to like role-playing games to get some sort of entertainment out of it. But it's also a way of presenting an adventure module and letting people know that you don't have to stick to the rules. You don't have to stick to the way that the adventure is written. You can just deviate off all over the place. So the narrative of the Derailed Adventure videos is not set. There's a lot of stuff which is unspoken. So if you're in the town of Clampot, for instance, and you want to interact with other townsfolk, I'm not going to narrate all those different townsfolk or describe them in intimate detail for you. I'm going to give you the vibe of the town. I'm going to give you 1 or 2 NPCs, maybe non-player characters, that you can get some sort of idea of a caricature of what they're like a short story implies a lot, but it doesn't write everything down in great detail. And that's the vibe of the Derailed Fantasy Adventures, that I'm painting you a picture and leading you through a story, both as a listener who's enjoying the story for its own right, and also as a dungeon master and potential world builder, to give you some idea of how I do and put things together in a very sort of lazy fashion. So the artwork is there to inspire you. It's free for anybody to use and reuse as they see fit. It's not copyrighted. It's AI generated by me and spliced together on various image software to make the images for the videos. And there's no world setting which is based on any published RPG, and there's no system rules. There's no rules mechanics in there from any specific role-playing game. So you can play it with Dungeon Crawl Classics or Osric or Dungeons and Dragons, whatever edition of that game you want to play, or Dragonbane or Forbidden Lands or Pathfinder. Doesn't matter to me. Play whatever you want. I'm not going to yuck your yum. If you want to play it with 5th edition, fine by me. You know, there's nothing wrong with the game system. So yeah, that's the way that the content for my channel is heading forward. Meanwhile, in between those adventures, which I'm going to be putting out as quickly as I can make them well. I'm not going to put them out in any particular set schedule. They're just going to be whenever they're done, and I upload them when they're ready to be uploaded. I'm going to be producing PDFs for those as well, and they're going to be available for sale for a small fee from my Spring store, which is the same place that you buy the t-shirts and things like that, because the return is mostly in my pocket. It's not going to Drive Through RPG or the Dungeon Masters Guild. Nobody's controlling or owning that content. It's mine. It's for sale for you. You can use it however you see fit, and that money that you're donating to that cause is going back to me, the person who created it. So that's great. It also means that I can then publish it in like an anthology if I do a Kickstarter for that later on if I want to, and pay some artists to do some really nice artwork for it. So like cover art and interior art and maps and things like that. That I'm trying to make the artwork as best I can, but that's, you know, I could do better for sure if I had a budget behind it. Anyway, talking of Kickstarters, I've got the 2nd generation Battlemats, the silicone Battlemats. I've got one over here. This is the parchment colored one. And as you can see, they're much thinner than they were originally. So these are 0.7 of a millimeter thick, and they've got the same sort of tough, super tough consistency. I mean, they are really good quality silicone. And this one, as you can see, it's got no printing on one side and it's got the square print on the other. And these will be $32.99 US, including shipping. So if you pledge that amount, it gets shipped to you wherever you are in the world. And they are the same size as the original ones. They're basically the same size as a big, like A1 sheet of paper. And they've got the standard 1-inch grid on there. They are truly pocket size, so you can literally fold them up. I'm just scrunching this randomly, but you can see it scrunches up a much better, and it doesn't have any wrinkling or anything like that when you fold it out. They fold out and lay completely flat. I won't belabor the qualities of the silicone ones. Anybody who's backed the original will know what the surface is like for infinite amounts of dry erase, and for crafting, nothing sticks to it. Just don't use like red permanent marker pens or super glue, and you'll be fine, really. So that's coming up soon. The double-sided ones with the hex grid on one side and the square grid on the other are, I think there's $37.99, including shipping anywhere in the world. People who back within the first backers, I think the first 1,300 or so backers will also have included one of the battle tracker mats, which tracks your initiative order and has got space for marking ammunition and other things like that on there. that's left over from the first Kickstarter, and they will be thrown in for free, just as a little incentive for early backers. And also people who back the get all 3 different types of battle mats. So there'll be the white, the parchment, and the stone grey. So people who order all 3 of those and pledge for all 3 will go into a special secret draw, and one of those people randomly, and it won't be announced who it is, there'll be no prize announcement or anything, one of those people will be sent the Master Pledge Award, which is a leather backpack, a chainmail dice bag, a dragon scale dice rolling tray, and the 3 core set rulebooks for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, hand bound in leather with my my old channel logo on there. A really nice prize that will be sent. Oh, and also some metal dice from D&D WoW, and that'll be sent out to you just randomly. Some person who backs for those 3 sheets for the full pledge, as it were, just as a nice little incentive, you know, a nice little fun game. Who knows? You might get it, you might not. Who knows? Yeah, so that's coming up soon. I'm just going to make the videos and basically put together the Kickstarter page for that. Anybody who previously backed the last Kickstarter and has any photos of those battle mats and things, please send them in to me. You can find my my email address in the description underneath this video. Send me in photos of those mats in use and your testimonial. If you want to send me a little letter telling me how you've been using them and how you found them, any problems or anything like that you've had with them. Any other things that you wish that we made, any particular color of battle mat or any particular style, or like if it's not a square grid or a hex map, what other sort of use, or would you like just like a blank one, or yeah, that sort of thing. Just let me know if there's any other improvements that we can make, or if we have a future a 3rd Kickstarter. But I think you'll be very happy with the changes to the battle mats. They're much lighter for shipping, so the shipping cost is much lower. That's how we've managed to factor it in and work it out for an average shipping across the entire world. Those will be shipped directly from the province that they're manufactured in, so there's minimum amounts of fuel cost and pollution, because one of the objectives of making the silicone battle mats is that they last for your entire life. They are a damn near indestructible gaming product that is designed to be reused over and over and over and over again. They will outlast any other battle mat that is on the market anywhere in the world. So yeah, if you've got Chessex battle mats and things like that, you'll know that they're good, but they don't last forever, and they also fold up and you have to weigh them down, and there's various other problems because of the materials, and don't even get me started on the plastic wrapped paper ones. And yeah, they're really good. And also you can cook pizzas on them, and they are spill resistant for Cheetos and Mountain Dew, guaranteed. So yeah, that's coming up soon, and that is about all I have to talk about, really. Yeah, stay tuned for more adventures. They're going to be coming out as fast as I can manufacture them, and also a lot more videos on homebrewed monsters and homebrewed lore and just game design theory that's not talking about game mechanics and the same old tired old crap dungeon master advice that you get for beginners and things like that. You guys have been listening to my channel for a while now, and I think we can talk about some like real practical D&D gameplay stuff for people who run games, you know, professionally or not. But people who've been doing it for a while, I think we can talk about some, you know, more interesting topics than, yeah. And certainly I'm sick and tired of Dungeons and Dragons politics. So yeah, no politics on this channel. No social commentaries. It's just the game. However you want to play it is your business. I'll tell you how I like to play it. What more do you want, really? All right. Catch you later, everybody. Thanks for listening. I'll be back with more for you very soon.